You broke the seal. Very well, awakened. Decide for the new church of Obоим. Those who follow the Master with great devotion often face difficult decisions as to right and wrong. In these decisions, the Master's followers are always alone. They cannot take anyone into their confidence, for to show weakness in front of others easily leads to ruin amongst the true believers. A secret confession could be of much help, but is a sacrament that requires so much trust really suitable for the new church?
It is much to expect when we say that every Barbarian draws up all their moral rules on their oath, an ideal that especially overwhelms the inexperienced. They will always carry with them the remains of foreign morality which interferes with their studies. A confessor could free their minds of this obstacle. Everyone has moments of weakness. It is reasonable to anticipate that and to create a safe place for these moments. That will make the faithful even stronger outside that place. That is why we need the sacrament of confession.
A true believer knows that ultimately all people strive for power. No confessor would be an exception to that rule. It would be against the Master's will for confessors to gather knowledge about others' weaknesses and not use it for their own purposes. Confession would make the believers weak because they would wallow in their weakness and sink into perpetual music. A true Barbarian performs deeds or fails, but both are done with pride. There is no trial, and there is no blame. Therefore, we do not need the sacrament of confession.
I have made my decision. Even a Barbarian must be able to show this. Confession is a useful sacrament.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel. You broke the seal. Very well, awakened. Decide for the new church of Obоим. The Master teaches us that the struggle for the greatest power is everlasting, and his most teachable students are also the most determined. What happens when a student has become powerful enough to defeat his instructor? Will he not use this as the first opportunity to gain respect in the fellowship? The instructor will not give up his power over the student, but it is up to him to introduce the student to the fellowship of believers as a full member. For impatient students, it is natural to want to prove themselves to the teacher. Often, the result is a duel in which one of the two finds death. A symbolic sacrament of initiation could be of help, should it be introduced.
How many arrogant students senselessly lose their lives in that struggle, how many teachers would expose themselves to that risk at all? It would weaken the church if one were not allowed to show their overcoming of their instructor in some manner. Years of training would become pointless. In addition, with this sacrifice, instructors would be tempted to keep their students ignorant for as long as possible, to keep their power from growing. That is why a symbolic initiation is necessary. It will give the initiates confidence and bind them more closely to the fellowship.
Respect is earned through deeds only. Admission as a full member of the church must be fought for, not given away. An instructor must be smart enough to get rid of his student at the right time, and to influence him in such a way that he does not want revenge, should he be more powerful. Symbolic initiation would mean the teacher and student both fail, and are allowed to do so. But still, if the instructor did not have the fear of the student's vengeance, he could do what he wanted with them. That is why we do not need a sacrament of initiation. A commitment to the Master's teaching is enough.
I have made my decision. We need a sacrament of initiation. Full-fledged members should be brought in without jeopardizing the church's growth.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel. You broke the seal. Very well, awakened. Decide for the new church of Obara. The grapes of the black vine are very powerful. They induce a trance which expands awareness and can help in magic rituals. It was created by Belgara, the archdemon of black, rotten lust. The wine draws its power from the vitality of the people caught in its vines. In this respect, it resembles the Master's teachings, as does the wine. The faithful use the power inherent in life force to cast spells. Is the wine suitable as a symbol of the rituals of the new church? Should it become an integral part and perhaps even replace blood sacrifice?
Only rarely will the believer's own blood suffice to cast powerful magic. Sooner or later, he will turn to the blood of his fellow men. But who can maintain their balance in the rush of power? How many sacrifices are enough? 100? 1,000? Black vine is an after-symbol, and it grows wherever it is planted. It would be unwise to make enemies through sacrifices when there is a substitute for their blood. Moreover, what is the life of a person stupid enough to let themselves be captured by a vine-hedged wolf? The master himself employed the demon's useful powers for his own purposes. Why not this plant? It is right to use black vine for the rituals.
Blood is the essence of magic, as taught by the master. Black vine is not. Replacing blood with wine would indeed save sacrifices, but the obligation to do so would also limit the rituals of the faithful. First, often enough do the master students work their magic with their own blood. Second, the archdemonic effects could cloud the clear spirit the master deemed a virtue. And thirdly, great deeds also require great sacrifices. If it is a good and noble thing, then it is worth every human life the faithful transform into essence. The faithful are accustomed to bearing responsibility. They answer to no one, and they are clever enough to find the right measure when choosing their victims. That is why black vine should not be part of the sacrifice, and it should certainly not replace blood sacrifice.
I have made my decision. Black vine is a useful plant. It is to be used in the rituals of the new church.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel.
Chiron, good thing I found you. Azrael is attacking again, more violently than ever before.
She's retaliating for Father's liberation.
Whatever the reason, we don't have time. We have to defend the camp. My people are badly injured. A scout reported that Azrael will send new troops this way. Troops she rose magically. But the scout died before he could describe them. I'll pull my people together on the other side of the camp. Maybe we can hold the eastern gate this way.
Things must be busy if you left the camp to fetch me.
She has enough creatures and cultists to storm the gates of Warwick itself.
She means business. Hasn't Azrael already lost enough power?
She is weakened, but so are we. It's as if she has to prove something to herself.
Maybe to you or Father.
Stop that crap.
So I will expect these new troops here. Alone.
I don't want to abandon you, but I can split up my troops. And if there's anyone who has a chance to defend the Western Gate, then it's you. Please, Chiron. You are our last hope.
If you want me dead, Just say it.
You mean I'm going to let others do the dirty work for me? Surrender to the force of the gift, but without fighting against you? No, Chiron. My love is stronger. Take my 2 bodyguards. They shall help you in this battle. We will defend the Eastern Gate without them. Somehow.
Here we go.
We held them off. Thank you, Chiron. 1,000 thanks. So many dead. But they bought us some time.
They knew the risk, and they died for a good cause.
Thank you for standing by me. I wish it were easier for us. But that's immaterial. The survivors have little hope of defending our camp. Or storming Azaril's camp. Do you realize what that means, Chiron?
It's not the first time we've stood with our backs to the wall. We'll figure something out. How great is the loss, exactly?
We're still counting. There may be enough for a new church, but not an attack. At least Aegis and Solus are still alive. They stood in for my bodyguards in an honorable way. At least my life was saved by them. At a high price.
Lizard men. Seems blood mages and creatures from the nether hells aren't enough.
Azaril's people controlled them the way they did the demons, and they looked just like the stone statues in the barricade room.
As if she had awakened them from the stone. Maybe we can use that. There's a card we haven't played yet. Segal.
You think his knowledge could save us?
I will go see him. He will help us.
Good. Go see him. Azaril herself guards the very last seal in the monastery's inner sanctum. Even my gift cannot get us there. The only way in is by force. The camp will remain a safe haven for you. In the meantime, I'll pull everyone together who can still stand. But when we fight this battle, it will be the most violent of them all.
What are you, Chiron? A deep...
Segal, we need your help. Azaril has overrun the rebels. A counterattack would shatter the survivors. We'll never get the 7th seal.
You need an army. A mighty army, right?
It is your fight too. Now finally do something.
It is good. I want to help you. But I'll have to demand something of you first.
Is that really necessary? Can't it wait?
My wish is to be allowed to be your father. You know that I won't refuse any request you make. But I'm impatient. I want a sign of your favor. The more pressing your time is, the more valuable the boon I ask. And the quicker you do what I want, the quicker you owe me nothing, if that is what you wish.
That is just sick.
As sick as love always is, a leader needs to learn that, and it makes me proud to see how quickly you learn. Still, I want this favor, then you shall have your army.
Fine. What should I do?
You will get me some demonic acid. It is in the crypt under the Master's statue.
And I won't find out why I'm doing this until later.
Accept this uncertainty, or the certainty that Azrael will destroy you.
I've got what you wanted.
Excellent. Now for the second part of your task.
Second part? That wasn't part of the deal.
Does that surprise you, Chiron? He is a Borberadian. It is his duty to betray you.
I heard that you came back after all these years. Your screams of pain still sound the same as ever.
You stole my daughter, and now you want to play my son off against me.
She is my daughter. You are the kidnapper.
I wanted to save her soul, and now she's only here because you are forcing her.
She chose me, voluntarily, because I didn't patronize her and lie to her for her whole life. Because I love her for what she really is, and what she will become. Her and Chiron.
You're fighting over Calandra while her camp may be overrun at any moment. Segal, I got you the acid, now finally tell me how I can raise the Akaz.
2 tasks. That is my condition. Not the least because I helped you to free this traitor.
You?
I distracted Azrael's attention. I thereby determined the time for the rescue. I wanted to exact the price later, but apparently Azrael has done it for me. Despite everything, the fact remains. This is a matter between you and me. Once you broke your promise, for which I was disfigured. But now we're even. And Chiron agreed. Right, Chiron?
Chiron, is that true?
I wanted him to find you at any cost. It's better than if she had killed you.
How? How could you let it happen? How could you do that to your father?
Father, I'm not responsible for what other people decide.
Do you still want to be my son? Chiron, do you want that?
I think he will do anything to save Calandra. For that he needs an army. The army of the Akaz. The statues which stand in Calandra's camp. I can tell you how to raise them. I want nothing in return. Just a gesture. Just a small gesture. A symbol. Near the pavilion you will find the room where your siblings grew up. The acid you now have is very potent. A few drops are sufficient to turn the incubators, from which the awakened were cut during their birth, to black mud. That will be a sign to me of which side you are on. The fact that you recognize your true destiny.
You want to awaken the Akaz, those mindless fighting machines. I was there myself when Azrael did that once.
Then tell me how to do it, Father.
That I cannot do, not anymore. I must be sure of you. Segal demands a symbol. I demand one too. In the rooms, you will find frescoes showing the 7 awakened in their eternal struggle. Use the acid to destroy them. That's the least I can ask of the man who wants to be my son.
So you demand a second round in the battle for fatherhood, you fool. This is not about sympathy. This is about truth. Chiron will make the right decision for his destiny.
What's the purpose of these incubators?
They locked your mother's bodies during Zulgarov's summoning. Segal wants to erase every memory of the human part of the awakened.
Their destinies will live on in the first paladin.
A destiny they never asked for, and one which killed them. They aren't your sacred heralds of a new era. They were people, and they never wanted to be anything else.
This path was predestined for them. Without the gifts, they would never have been born. Your betrayal has not only led Chiron and Calandra from their destiny, you robbed them of their childhood. You wished you had never sired the awakened, and then you stole 2 of them to turn them into your creatures.
The other awakened are dead. Chiron do not allow the incubators to be destroyed. Those are the last memories of who they once were.
These frescoes, what do they show?
The destiny of the awakened, from their baptism in the blood of their mothers to their unification in the first paladin.
A story of beings born from death to bring death.
It is the way of the world that the strongest triumph. But the frescoes remind the awakened that they do not belong to the same cycle as lesser humans. What do you see when you look at your reflection, Chiron? The past? The son of the man whom you call father? Or do you see the future? All the great things that you could achieve?
Do not listen to him, Chiron. Please, believe me, you're much more than just your gift.
You both know how to awaken the stoner Kaz, but you're forcing me to make a decision between you. What should I do with the acid?
Just a small gesture, a symbol. Near the pavilion, you will find the room where your siblings grew up. The acid you now have is very potent. A few drops are sufficient to turn the incub. That will be a sign to me.
Segal demands a symbol. I demand one too. In the rooms, you will find frescoes showing the 7 awakened in their... Use the acid to destroy them.
This is not about sympathy. This is a...
I'll see you later.